All right. Oh, I didn't do the Twitter stuff.
I put his under for him. No big deal. No big deal. Okay, great. We're gonna go in 3, 2, and 1. Well, hello there, and welcome to the House of D podcast, where we talk about comics, video games, movies, TVs, everything in the geek stratosphere. I'm, of course, your host, Dsquare. My partners, as always, Volsker and J100. J100, how's it going for you today, sir?
Going great. As you guys see, we finally have the video to the podcast going, which is great because now we can put them on YouTube because they will be streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch. We're gonna have mixers set up for next week. I got my setup over here looking all nice and pretty with my Iron Man stuff back there. What's up, boy? How you
Yeah,
doing over there, boy?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy right there. So listen, we're moving to a next stage. This thing is evolving. I'm loving it. I'm happy. Let's go. Let's get nerdy.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're excited. And yeah, we've lifted the veil. Here's the video. Sorry for the hat. I still got my quarantine hair. I usually keep it high and tight, like my favorite mutant, but still going a little bit crazy. We'll see you, my favorite barber, next Tuesday. Volsker, sir, how's it going?
It's going good, guys. Happy to be here. To branch off of Jay's point, I mean, we're definitely evolving here, and this is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yep, yep. And of course, still a work in progress. But hey, it's going to be an extra special, excellent episode, guys. We have Chandler from the X Reads podcast with us as a special guest. Chandler, how's it going, sir?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. And I've got to say, I'm very jealous of all of this amazing nerd stuff behind you. You know, I just have a window and a lamp.
Yeah, well,
I
hey.
need to up my collection.
Yeah, this has been many, many years coming. Still adding more each day, and thankfully, the wife, she's okay for me having my one corner of the house here. So, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, sir. I got to tell you, I'm very excited for you to be on the podcast for a great many reasons. Of course, you're going to talk about the BINC Foundation, but I got to tell you, your podcast, sir, is just simply amazing. I am jealous that I did not think of the idea first. To go through old X-Men comics, talk about the ads that are in them, and the way that you and Chris really take us back in almost a time machine, going through those issues, talking about the ads that are in them, just unique perspectives from both of you guys. So, of course, the last episode that I listened to, I think it was the last episode you guys had, was of course Colossus. Centric, he's my favorite, and maybe I just love any love that he gets. So I definitely enjoyed that. But thank you so much, sir. Great podcast, guys. Everybody, go out and listen to X Reads podcast. You will not regret it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we love Colossus on our podcast. So glad to hear that he's a favorite of yours.
Oh yeah, no, he is. He is absolutely my favorite superhero of all time, and which isn't always easy because before the internet got prevalent, it's like no one else likes Colossus. But now I get to meet all these people that appreciate him nearly as much as I do, and in some cases more, and that's great. But Chris, you're here to talk about something that's very important to all of us. So, sir, without further ado, tell us about the BINC Foundation.
Absolutely. So BINC being the book industry. Oh my God, I'm not even going to get their acronym right. Book industry, maybe national. I forget what I'm saying. BINC.
Yeah.
They have a comic book united fund, and this fund that they're raising, goes towards all local comic book shop owners.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are the owner of a comic book shop in the United States only, sorry, international listeners, but just United States only. If you own a comic book shop and you're struggling to pay your bills, the book industry comic book united fund will help you out. They're established to make sure that these businesses do not go under and that people can continue to go collecting comics in the shop, getting the issues in hand, not just the digital versions. Yeah. And of course, all the collectibles that go with comic book shops. DC Comics, Marvel, everybody's been involved with this foundation. So everybody, Jim Lee is doing tons of fundraising for this foundation. And I was so inspired that I got 5 other podcasters to join forces. And so the 6 of us are trying to raise as much money as we can. And by people donating, they just send us the receipt, and then we have tiered perks. So depending on the amount that you donate, depends on the perks that you get to kind of unlock.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love seeing that sort of thing, whether it be a podcast, YouTube channel, but particularly, with BINC, I can absolutely tell you that my own, my local comic shop owner, he was actually on the show last week. He finally opened. I picked up and cleared my file out, plus threw some other stuff in there. And I was talking to him about it, and he actually confirmed that he's actually received money from BINC. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and, this is not a pie in the sky thing at all. This is not some secret, some charity where 95% goes in administrative costs. This is real results, people. So please make sure. I'm going to have the link in the description of the podcast, of course. Any one of our Twitters are going to have it on there. So make sure you go and chuck in some money, whatever you have. But definitely Chandler and Chris have a great reward system set up for their podcast, which is cool. So I just appreciate everything you guys are doing on that behalf, and anything you guys need to help with that, you can certainly come over to the House of D and ask us. We're very big advocates of keeping the medium afloat. I mean, it's already got challenges just as the time goes by, but this whole economic downturn has made that industry hurt just a little bit more. And I mean, again, our guy Eric had a great feel good story, but not everybody may be like that. So please make sure you go and support that foundation. So Chandler, you're a fellow X-Men fan like me, so I'm going to take full advantage of it. All right, full advantage of it here. So just a couple of silly questions for you, sir. Always been, always will be. Well, listen, I got into comics when I was very young. Like I explained on the last, it's a visual thing. The X-Men visually are better than everybody else. Always have been. So here we go. So Chandler.
Yes.
What's your X-Men Mount Rushmore?
Well, I assume it's a top 4. How many faces are on Mount Rushmore? I'm horrible at history.
It's 4, but hey, let's get silly if you want.
All right.
You can do 3, you can do 5.
Well, my number 1 is Kitty Pryde, so she's going to go up there.
Okay.
With Nightcrawler, Storm, and Jubilee.
Jubilee, okay, interesting. She faces a lot of people kind of make fun of her a little bit now, but if you currently read or have read throughout the years, interesting character, and has involved in a lot of different ways, from being a vampire to the mother of a dragon. So
exactly.
Interesting.
Well, she was my entry character because I was introduced to the X-Men through the animated series, in the 90s. And she was, of course, the youngest character. And so as a young, kid, I was like, oh, she's the coolest. And so I just was latched onto her. She was.
I can holler at her. I gotta fight Cyclops and Wolverine to get that Jean Grey. Never mind, forget all that. I'm a hit up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, go for the low-hanging fruit. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Jubilationly, if you're
right. That's right. I still have the card somewhere with her Marvel Series 1. I remember that. Jubilation Lee. Okay. Well, not to get sidetracked too much, but you mentioned Kitty Pryde. One of my favorite characters. I'm still just frosted at her about leaving Colossus at the altar. That's the. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time get past that, but nonetheless, live and let live. All right, so you mentioned it a little bit then. So getting you into the X-Men in the first place, you mentioned the animated series. I think that got a lot of people into the X-Men. It was a very, very high quality back in the day, storyline wise. So absolutely, I can definitely understand where that would be where you get into it. So, all right. I just want to ask you a couple more questions about some X-Men runs. Grant Morrison's X-Men run. Are you familiar with that? The new X-Men?
You mean the new X-Men?
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Yay or nay?
Super yay.
Super yay. Okay.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah. That particular run gets a lot of love. I will tell you that it's not. I don't like the costumes, and that was the the leather, the emulating of the X-Men from the movies. I don't know, that always gave me a little sour taste. So as much as I love X-Men, the Grant Morrison run's got some wonderful stuff in it, some really cool important stuff. I hate that black leather look.
But what about Emma Frost and her like flesh X?
Well, yeah, no, that is epic. You're right.
Oh, you missed that reaction.
That was incredible.
I was muted. You missed that reaction. That was.
Yeah, say it again, J100. What was that?
I listen. Yeah, I'm not a big as X-Men fan as Dsquare here. That guy's the only guy that matters, but to me. But I did get introduced to X-Men through the animated series as well. And so to see some of the the later kind of things, and to hear Dsquare passionately and wonderfully, beautifully, might I add, narrate his way, around what's happening. I'm confused. So, if you guys want to, have at it and have flashy X's, and go ahead. That guy right there, Tony Stark.
Hey, I'm always going to give Iron Man respect for actually winning a fight against Magneto, and otherwise being the linchpin to the MCU. But okay, all right. Well, so how about Hickman's direction for the X-Men right now, Chandler? What, yay or nay on that?
Well, I'm going to give it a yay because after Grant Morrison, it's funny that you bring up those two. After Grant Morrison, I fell off the comic book train altogether. I stopped collecting comics probably for 10 years. And then a friend of mine who works in the comic book industry and publishing was just like, listen, they're going to relaunch it and you're going to see something called House of X and Powers of 10. And he's like, you need to buy every issue and every issue after that, because he's like, it's incredible. So I agree with that. I think it is incredible. I think they relaunched it super strong, and I'm really enjoying it. Where before I dipped in and out over the 10 years just kind of to check in, and I thought it was really sloppy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Boring kind of storyline.
Oh yeah. I agree with you. In fact, I hated that Age of X-Men. But yeah, to see the X-Men go from near extinction to now they're the forefront of the comic book industry as a whole, and seeing this new direction, I'm definitely enjoying that. Hickman needs to bridge some gaps for me. I'm going to give him time to do that. He is a very long formish writer, so there's some gaps there that I need him to fill in, but I can only trust that he's going to do so. So yeah, absolutely.
And what's he doing with Kitty Pryde? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, I know.
We've been caught in suspended animation because no new issues have been coming out. Is she dead? Are they going to revive her? I need to know, Hickman.
Yeah, exactly. And explain to me why she can't go through a Krakoan gate. That's another thing. Tell us. But yeah, spoiler alerts, Kitty Pryde, last time we saw her, was drowning, and we haven't seen her since. And Gold Balls, well now as he's known Eggs, is having trouble coming up with viable. You're loving that, Volsker. I know we had some fun with that one.
Gold balls.
But yeah, so now the Resurrection Protocol is in question. So definitely some interesting stuff there. Okay, great. Thank you so much for letting me geek out with some X-Men stuff for you. Now what we're going to do...
anytime.
Yeah, for sure. So before, I know you said you might have to drop off here, so before that happens, I just want to make sure we go ahead and retro reminisce. So I know this is normally closer to the end of the show, Jay and Volsker. I'm moving it up a little bit, not to throw you off too much before we get into our news items. So retro reminisce, this one we're going way back. 1989, Quest for Glory. So you want to be a hero. This was a computer game. I remember playing it back on my Packard Bell back in the day. I was so excited to get an Intel Pentium processor. And so it's a point-and-click sort of adventure game that I just had a load of fun with. And Chandler mentioned it on his podcast in reference to a really goofy character, Baba Yaga, who's a witch that lives in a house with chicken legs. She's in the game. So I guess take us through your experience, Chandler, real quick. I don't want to hog it up here. Volsker and Jay might be lost a little bit, so this one's for me and you, buddy. Take me through your experience. Reminisce for me a little bit about Quest for Glory. So you want to be a hero.
Yeah, gladly. But I just need to know, Jay and Volker, have you never heard of Quest for Glory or Sierra games in general? What's your knowledge?
Have watched Quest for Glory be played, and I was a huge Sierra Games fan, one of which my favorite PC games, if you will, of all time, Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh, yes.
I got to just perv it out, in the discretion of my own PC. Hewlett Packard with the 333 megahertz.
Yeah.
Lightning speed.
Big
but
numbers.
Yeah, so I'm old too, guys. You forget that, I'm the next.
Yeah,
I'm the
also
next
old.
Right. So Sierra Games has a place. I don't know that one or too much about that one specifically. So you, or at least, Volsker might have some 2 cents, but after that you can take the stage. I have nothing.
I know of it, and I think back in the day I may have tinkered a little bit with it, but I've never spent any length of time really playing it. So yeah, it's completely over my head.
So you never opened up the box, started loading in the 13 floppy disk that you need?
God.
Yes, exactly. I know, so many discs. No, okay, so Quest for Glory 1, the kind of medieval one that features Baba Yaga, is great, of course. I love it. That's obviously the introductory game, and I just, the elements of that game and how exciting it was, and how you got to pick a character class, whether you're a fighter, a mage, or a thief, and that would kind of affect how you would play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could keep the character and move it into the second game, Quest for Glory 2, which took place in the desert, and then Quest for Glory 3, which took place in Africa, and then Quest for Glory 4. It's the one that took place in Slovenia or something, which is why I was confused earlier when we were speaking about whether Baba Yaga is in 4 or 1, but I think it is number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Either way, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that really was, like you said, the different classes. I would always choose the thief because in the very first town, you could get your lockpick stuff and you could start going into people's houses at night and taking stuff. And that was one of the first games that you could do something like that. So it was just a lot of secrets to uncover. It just kept me going all the time. I was obsessed. And
I was a mage user, always a mage user.
Yeah, I wanted to be more of a fighter, but I wanted the ability to go into people's houses at night and take their stuff. So I guess when you're 8-9 years old, that's fun.
No wonder you love it, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, you're right. That exactly. It actually, yes, it very much reminded me. It was like a modern version for me. So. All right. Yes. Quest for Glory.
You know that the Quest for Glory creators, they kickstarted a new game that they're going to create. and
Mm.
it takes years for these games to be made. But
Yeah.
they funded it, I think, a year and a half ago. So I think within the next year, we should hopefully be seeing some sort of things. But yeah, they're launching a new game series, so I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
Nice.
And I just need to do another. Can I do a retro throwback? I'm just
Yeah.
curious if you guys were ever used livejournal.com.
Something similar.
Does this ring a bell?
It doesn't.
Live Journal.
No, I think I use some. I've used something similar.
It sounds so familiar. What was that? What is that?
Well, LiveJournal was just your personal blog. So it's just like it was
Right.
before Facebook and everything. You would just write entries, whether it was a whole journal or just a status update or whatever. And friends could look at your blog and comment on it and everything. But what I'm getting to is that, speaking of Colossus earlier, is that there would be role playing groups on LiveJournal where you would role play as a character, and I role played as Colossus in this super nerdy live journal group.
Nice. Yeah, I used to play a multi-user dungeon, which was similar. It was done on a Telnet portal, a little bit different, but yeah, that's cool though.
Literally took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say that sounds like
Yeah,
something
I love
Dsquare would do.
You guys thought you were big
As he
geeks,
one-ups you.
but yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Mandy.
listen, if you listen to past podcasts, you'll hear me and Volsker. Volsker's my younger brother, by the way. But we'll talk about our grandmother and our uncle, so we're like second, third generation nerds. But yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember stuff like that. Neverwinter Nights on AOL back in the day. All good stuff. All good stuff. Cool. All right, man. Well, we're gonna get into some news items here. So just bear with me.
I'll pop off then.
All right. Well, oh, you know what? I almost forgot. I just want to know: are you excited about the New Mutants coming out in August?
Absolutely. Who isn't? What X fan is not excited about this movie? This movie that's been doomed for years, but
Yeah.
it's finally, hopefully coming out in August. I mean, I'm not, praying to any of the gods in the sky, but I just am like, this movie better come out. I was ready for digital on demand. I was ready just to watch this movie and be done with it. But if they're going to put it in theaters and that theaters can allegedly be open in August, I'm going to go see it.
Right. Yeah. So I really wasn't looking forward to it. I'm still kind of like questioning how I feel about it because I don't understand why we would be introduced to new mutants in the MCU when we don't even know the old mutants yet. But I've come up with a prediction that if it happens, I'm going to absolutely love this. Okay? So for those of you that don't know out there, Magic, a Liliana Rasputin, who is in the New Mutants movie, in the Marvel Universe, she is actually from an alternate timeline, okay? And she is Colossus' sister. But Colossus' sister, and we're in the weeds here, comic book stuff, his sister in Marvel Universe 616 died of the legacy virus. So the Magic that we all know and love, the hot blonde with the big sword, she's actually from an alternate timeline, basically, an alternate reality. So, since this is actually a Fox property, I think that they are going to kill everybody in that movie, but a Liliana will somehow escape that reality, and then we will see her later in the MCU, which would actually somewhat mirror how she got to the Marvel 616 universe in the comics. That's why I think Disney has such a perseverance to bring this movie out, because very popular characters, and the Magic character, I mean, people have been wanting to see. She's going to carry that movie on her back. Maisie Williams playing Wolfsbane or Rain Sinclair, that's going to be good too. Those two are going to carry the movie, but that's my prediction, is that they're going to take her out of this Fox Universe movie, and then we're going to later see her in the MCU with the X-Men. That is how it would make ultimate sense to me. Otherwise, I don't know. They weren't going to release it because it was so bad, and now they're going to release it. So Disney's got to have something up their shoulders. So they've now made me excited where I wasn't before. So of course,
I look forward to whatever comes out, even if it's bad. It's new X material, and I'm super excited about it.
right? Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
good way of looking at it instead of being a curmudgeon. Like some other
Yeah,
fans.
Jay's
Ride with it.
yeah, Jay's our resident reasonable person, and I old man rage when things aren't like I want them to be.
I try to be reasonable, you know.
It's hey, listen, it's the best way to be. Okay, all right, Chandler. Well, you've been very gracious with your time, sir. Again, thank you so much. Everyone, make sure that you go and donate to the BINC Foundation, guys. Make sure we're supporting our LCSs. So chuck in a buck if that's all you have. Chuck in a buck if that's all you got. But if you got a little more, throw a little bit more in there. And make sure you let, Chandler know. Show your receipt to him. He's got some great tiered rewards for you guys, him and Chris. So I hope you do that. Chandler, thank you so much, sir. And I'll look forward to your next podcast. And you have an open invitation anytime, sir. Thank you so much for coming on our humble podcast.
Oh, cool. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
You are very
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
Take care.
Take care, man.
Bye.
All right, now we're just going to switch over here. There we go. All right, guys. So, yeah, interesting stuff there. Chandler is great. Glad he was on the show. But now we're going to get into some nerd news. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, of course, we have talked about Final Fantasy VII, the remake. We've all played through it, all given our opinions, and we are all excited about the next installment. But let me ask you here. An article from Inverse.com is basically saying that one key factor that may delay the next installment of the remake is they want to wait until the Real Engine 5 is done and then translate the game over to that, giving it increased capabilities, more specifically in the realm of having more of an open world. Of course, Final Fantasy Remake Part 1, the one we've all played, isn't an open world. It's in Midgar. So that should drastically change with the next installment. So are you guys willing to wait?
No. I'm just going to say it now. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not willing to wait. But at the end of the day, what else are we going? It's one of those things where it's just like the fact that we have Final Fantasy VII Remake here, we've all beaten it. I'm actually thinking about trying to do the things I need to do my hard mode run and things like that, and getting the platinum trophy and all that. And yeah, it's gonna sit on the shelf for a little while, but like we know it's gonna happen. So it's not like this is new chapters and we're gonna get new things and things like that. And as much as I don't want to wait, it's just in our best interest to just let them do what they feel is best, and it will come out as beautiful as the 7 remake in Midgar. I guess we'll call that episode Midgar or whatever.
Yeah.
It came out great, and we all enjoyed it. And there's little flaws, and the little flaws that are there are minor and minuscule. So if they want to continue on with that precedent, let them use Unreal 5. And if you wait a little bit I got shit I gotta play. I'm streaming now. I got me a quadcast mic in a 1080p 60 frame per second webcam over here. So I'm about to be playing some games. And because I'm limited playing those games, I'll patiently wait for one of the best. So
yeah.
You got a good point. Like, I guess to branch off of that, like, I don't want to wait. I want the next episode. The game was fucking amazing, just simply put. But seeing even just that tech demo and knowing that technically, if it's not supposed to stray too much away from the original, that we are going to have that open world to travel to different areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we would definitely get something that would utilize it and would look fucking beautiful. But I don't want to wait 5, 6, 7 years for episode 2, because then we're going to be literally almost 2 generations out before the damn thing finishes.
You think it is going to be that long, though? I mean, at most, I see, like, 2022, 2023. Like,
It'd probably be 23, 24 is my guess, because Epic said the Unreal 5 won't be ready until the end of 2021.
Oh, I mean, 2022. Like, we wait 3 years for. Well, we used to wait 3 years for Star Wars movies. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we can wait 3 years for. I mean, I hope. But. So the thing about it is this: we played 40 to 50 hours, depending on how you play.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like 75 of Midgar, which is 1% of the game. So, if I have to wait a Star Wars episode amount of time to play, I would think, a big chunk of the game at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, like, what else do they have to develop? The biggest thing that they would have to develop is the golden saucer, and then you can't even really do anything in golden saucer the first time. What they would allow you to. So then there's that whole thing. And if you've ever played the golden saucer in Final Fantasy 14, it's a game in and of itself. So when it comes to what else is there, the Mount Corel might be not Mount Corel, but wherever Barrett and the motherfuckers, yeah.
That's
That part would probably be a little deep. But outside of that, like, what happens? So you got Junon, you got So you got Junon, and after Junon, you got Mount Corel. You get to Mount Corel, you go to Nibelheim. After Nibelheim, Cloud freaks fuck out. And then you go to, like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you go back to Midgar or some shit like that? So, like, or no. You go to Cosmo Canyon.
Yes.
And all that stuff like that. So, like, that's halfway through disc 1.
Yeah.
And if we were to put that right there is probably 30 hours in the next episode. All that I just said.
Yeah.
And if you were to, squeeze in a little bit more, shorten some things here and there, whatever, I could see episode 2 getting all the way to the end of disc 1. So, like, you're not too far, I don't know about that, but, like, I don't see it going too far and taking too long. And then after that, the world is set, and you just put everything else on top of it, and it'll be done in what, 2, 3 episodes, 4 episodes. Like,
yeah,
I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried per se. I guess I just don't want too much deviation from game to game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm slowly coming to the realization that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're not going to be able to finish the Final Fantasy remake series on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. It's going to end on the next generation. Not sure how I feel about that. But with all that said, I'm going to play it. I mean, if the next installment doesn't come out for 5 years, am I not going to buy it? No, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play the hell out of it. So, yeah, do I want to wait? No, but I completely understand technically what they're talking about. That the next installments have to be more open world, have more expansive of an area to work with, and therefore they're going to need the additional power that something like the Unreal 5 engine will give them. So,
wait, to Cassie's point, which, by the way, she actually just recently beat the game too, so she actually now understands what we're talking about. She just threw in, we might be able to get to finish it if the apocalypse hasn't taken us all out by then.
Yeah. That's right. That's legit. It's a legit concern, unfortunately. All right, our next bit of news here comes from IGN, basically talking about how Sony has announced that it has created a new umbrella brand, PlayStation Studios, that will unite all its first-party titles and launches alongside PlayStation 5. Where have I heard that before? Where have I heard that they might do that? Jay, I believe it was from you. I believe you said basically almost those exact darn words, that maybe they're just going to consolidate everything. So here we are. Good move, bad move?
It's not an unprecedented move,
Right?
Well, I believe Microsoft did this, and a few others did it. But sorry, I was getting a phone call. We'll see. Like I said, there's precedent that's already been set, so all they have to do is just have a decent working system, and I don't foresee any problems. It's going to streamline things, and it's going to the way I look at it is it's like a consolidation. And it's one of those things where and I was listening and enjoying our guests, so I didn't get to opine about how great it was that the people within the industry are helping keeping the industry together in a very creative and what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a new interesting way, which is even better. But with that said, when it comes to businesses like this, there's a lot of dead weight. And so when they need to save money, instead of firing people, you just move everybody all into one house, and then you save on some light bills. You know what I mean? You save on some building rents.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to work at pay for 2 suites at Trump Tower. That shit's expensive. So you know what I mean? Like you could just consolidate it, and you're good to go. So Sony usually makes good decisions, and when Sony makes pretty big moves like this, they have a legacy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, not a bad move. I like you said, people have already done it. I'm surprised that it hadn't already happened. So, good.
I think
good on
it's
them.
good. I think it's brilliant. It's worked out for Microsoft, and honestly, just consistency piece. Like, hey, it's Sony Studios, bam, label it, get it out there, move forward. It's honestly something I'm actually really curious why like Nintendo hasn't fucking done in years, because they have second party games where they like Pokemon and like other that are contracted but not actually fully owned by it. Like it's just weird and gets complicated. Just label your shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. It is indeed a move that makes sense. All right. Well, we're going to get out of the realm of video games here for a couple of stories. This one's just kind of a fun story, courtesy of CBR.com, which is 10 X-Men that are surprisingly more powerful than the Hulk. Hulk is always used as the barometer for strength in the Marvel universe as a whole, and he really does have unlimited strength, so that's why people always say, hey, Hulk versus Superman, who's going to win? He is the Marvel Universe's Superman, per se, although there's some Superman knockoffs like the Century and Hyperion or whatever. But nonetheless, Hulk is a powerful dude, and so let's talk about 10 X-Men that are more powerful than he is.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, here we go. So, number 10, although number 1 in my heart, Colossus. Okay, so Colossus has faced off against the Hulk a number of times. The one I remember the most is when it was World War Hulk, and Hulk was going after Xavier because he was part of the Illuminati that decided that they should shoot Hulk off into space so that he can no longer endanger any humans. And although they meant to send him to an uninhabited planet, they sent him to a planet called Sakaar, which was ruled by a ruthless dictator. And he ended up taking this world over, actually found a wife and impregnated her. But then, the ship he came in blew up. Killed his wife and child. Made Hulk even more pissed. Came to Earth. And
Made Hulk be mad.
So Colossus tried to stand up against him, but was utterly defeated. So how can this list say that Colossus is more powerful than the Hulk? Well, this is why. Because even the Hulk said himself, boy, you'd be a good fight if I wasn't like really pissed off right now. Because baseline Hulk versus baseline Colossus is actually stronger and more impenetrable. So Colossus is actually stronger than the Hulk. However, Hulk's strength does intensify along with his angry emotion, and there's where Colossus will end up biting it. Number 9, Storm. Okay, so when we're talking about strength, we're not talking about, muscles. We're just talking about overall power, and certainly Storm has that, in spades, controlling the weather, the atmosphere. So certainly, if she fought the Hulk, she could potentially win. Number 8 is Mimic. Not sure if you guys are familiar with this, but so basically, as we all know, Hulk's main ability is to grow with a fit of rage and become one of the strongest beings in the MCU. Mimic's ability is to do exactly that. Mimic. Copy his foe's abilities and make them his own. Not only would Hulk find himself basically facing another version of himself in battle, but he would find that Mimic is nearly impossible to defeat since he harnesses the original 5 X-Men's powers indefinitely. Number 7 is Quicksilver. So again, the article uses the word, who's surprisingly more powerful, but again, not always in the strength sense. Quicksilver is just that. He's very, very fast. Hulk would never be able to catch him. Beast. So obviously, again, strength-wise, Hulk is going to beat him. But, Hulk, with him able to harness all of his abilities and still be intelligent and not give in to his rage, there is absolutely a good chance that Beast was going to find a way to deal with the Hulk. Number 5 is Armor. Armor has the ability to generate psionic body armor that grants superhuman strength and durability. Matched with Bruce Banner's weakness, if Hisako is unable to morph into her super body armor, she would see a quick defeat against the Hulk. But in her armor, she is very tough. Thunderbird. Thunderbird was unfortunately killed in X-Men Volume 1, number 95 in 1975, but would pose to be a great challenge to Hulk if he was still alive today. While we may never know how far he can push his powers because of his untimely death, a matchup with the Hulk might push Banner to his limit. Thunderbird has enhanced speed and strength combined with a background in military training. So he just may have the right set of skills to deal with the Hulk. Then there's Bishop, number 3. In a stone-cold hand-to-hand combat match against Hulk, Bishop would surely lose. But what sets Bishop apart is that from Hulk is that he's able to harness forms of energy, light, heat, electricity, etc., and turn them into vastly superior strength. If Bishop is able to harness his full potential, he could surely win against the Hulk using his own strength against him. Number 2, the Juggernaut. Not a lot of explanation there. Nobody can stop the Juggernaut. In fact, he did go up against the Hulk in his strongest form. Now, Hulk could not stop him, but Hulk could use his own momentum against him and threw him away. And then number 1, the Phoenix.
Bitch. I'm the Juggernaut.
Right, exactly. Totally surprised. And then, yeah, number 1 MacGuffin, the Phoenix. So there you go. Just real quick. So Hulk is not the ultimate. There are some X-Men that could give him a run for his money.
So I want to ask you, I want to challenge you, D.
Mhm.
So that's an interesting list. How much do you agree with it?
I don't know about the Thunderbird guy. He's
Like
oddly
DC
placed.
Quicksilver beating the Hawk.
Beating him. Like, okay, yes, I do. This is how. Run real fucking far away. Hulk no longer has nothing to be mad about. He reverts back into Bruce Banner. Quicksilver then comes back and takes care of him.
Fucking right hook.
Reach.
Yes, you're right. You're
Reaching.
right.
If this was basketball, I'd take your ass out the game.
It is a reach.
Because I think Beast can challenge him with, like, intellect.
Right, exactly. And some of the list is a cop-out because, yeah, some of those people clearly cannot go toe-to-toe with the Hulk. But, you know, could outsmart him.
Mm-hmm. I think toe-to-toe wise, the only two really on there would be Juggernaut and Phoenix. Like, just straight out toe-to-toe.
Yeah. I mean, Phoenix is...
And everybody else. And so, but like that also could be one of those things where it's like, oh, well, because that's what everybody says about Batman. Well, he'll outsmart him because he's a genius and like, shut up, okay? Like, no. that list consists of maybe 2.5 motherfuckers that could go toe to toe.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll just swinging, back to the right there, Jay. I wholeheartedly agree with you because, like, look what happened when Batman went against Bane. Fucking stacked his back,
broke that motherfucker back.
So yeah.
He sure as fuck did. I will break you.
Or we gotta, I'll break you.
Yeah.
Oh, it is yours, Gotham. I'm supposed to be Cuban, but instead I sound like this.
Yeah.
The voice actors extraordinaire in this mother. Man, listen, the evolution of this program, gentlemen, sirs,
Sure.
is remarkable. I am loving this.
Good old
Gotham is yours.
Anyway. Tom Hardy's good, but not that good. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the Deadpool movie here. First, so we got this covered.com is reporting that sources are saying that Madcap is going to be the next villain in the Deadpool movie. Now, there's a couple of problems I have with this. First of all, it's saying that Madcap is a fan favorite villain. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Neither do I. Who the fuck?
Now, I'm not saying I'm a big Deadpool fan, so I certainly did not read all the Deadpool comics. But I challenge that. Number 2 is Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, has been on Twitter and basically saying Disney's got no plans for this fucking movie. Which is kind of concerning to me. I know they're trying to work a lot of things out. How do you bring the rated R property into the family-friendly MCU? But there you have it. So, I don't really know who to trust here. Madcap does not seem like a great choice of a villain. And again, according to the character's creator, Marvel has not shared their plans with them. Does this worry you? Or do you think it's all going to come out okay in the wash?
One, you must have. Movie will come out eventually. Must have faith.
I agree. Like, initially I thought that the creator was just talking out of his ass, just trying to, get his 15 minutes of fame again.
Yeah.
And then a couple things, like he was in an interview where he was like, look, Disney owes me a fat fucking paycheck whether they make a movie or not. So I have no reason to fucking bullshit you. That, I'm like, well, if he's coming out saying that, like, I wonder if there's some truth to it. But then we have Ryan Reynolds saying that he's already met with, like, Kevin Feige and everybody to start working on ideas.
Yeah, there's definitely
money.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff flying around about this movie. I think one thing that may be distressing some of us fans is that, you had Deadpool 1, bam, Deadpool 2, and then now we've got like this hiatus as everything is worked out. But in the end, just like Jay said, something's going to come out. There's
absolutely.
Too much fucking money on that table for them to just say, fuck it.
Well, they re-released that PG-13 of the Deadpool 2 and like reworked it for where he was kidnapping what's his name from the old show back in the day. Like, yeah, so they can easily make him PG-13 and still have comedy. But I will say, doing that, they need to figure it out, because Blade better be fucking rated R. This better be rated R. Like,
no, we ain't have no PG-13 Deadpool movie. You can keep that motherfucker. Disney will not have plans.
Yeah, okay? I agree.
I don't. Then if that is their plan, then you ain't got no plan. Okay, Disney, right? We don't want that shit.
Yeah, no, I'm with Jay. Deadpool movie, rated R. It can't be any other way. Now, if you want to put Deadpool in an Avengers movie or in an X-Men movie and then PG-13 him up, okay. But yeah, his movie, no, I've got to hear the quips. I've got to, the blood, the nudity, all those things are Deadpool, and if you take that stuff out, it will cease to be Deadpool. It'll be Deathstroke. And nobody wants that. So, all right. That's it, guys. That's all the nerd news we got. So, just a little bit of Deadpool news for you there to end us off. All right, guys. Well, we have had a great stream, and of course, we are on the YouTubes and the Twitters and soon the Mixers, so you can see our wonderful faces. And maybe by next week I'll have a proper haircut, so I'm not in some crappy camo hat that I wear when I go fishing. But guys, we're gonna head toward the train station here and wrap her all up. But before we do, let's talk about what you're reading, playing, or watching. So Volsker, let's start with you.
Honestly, in terms of reading, like, I read a couple of the Bleach chapters. I don't know why. Like, I could start just literally getting on a train, plowing through a few chapters, and then like nothing works, and I don't read it again for like a week. So read a couple of those. Try to get through this Firefly graphic novel that guy from work let me borrow, so I could start back on some of my backlog of comics. In terms of playing, just recently beat Control. I just popped in Far Cry 4. And if anybody that's checked out my YouTube channel, I started kind of fucking around with the new Predator game. And I see how that is with the 4 versus 1. That's honestly pretty much damn it.
Did you make it? I heard that Arnold was in that game. Have you met Dutch yet?
Not yet, but I think he's supposed to be like coming DLC, which is kind of interesting. There's only like one map right now at this point. So like $30, $40 games. I think it's going to be a lot of DLC driven. Like, what was it? Friday 13th and Dead by Dawn. They have like $2 DLCs for horror characters. Freddy, Bruce Campbell from Ash from Evil Dead. I think it's going to be one of those. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we get aliens in eventually.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was just about to ask, do you think they'll do the AVP? So, other than that, let me know how that goes. Let me know if you meet Dutch. I want to know if he ever tells you to get in the chopper. Get in it now. Come kill me, I'm here. Anyway.
Now, I do have a big fucking Gatling gun, which is actually pretty damn
Oh,
good.
yeah? Fuck yeah. I remember that from that movie. All right, cool stuff. All right, J100, sir, what you reading, playing, or watching?
I have been reading, playing, and watching OBS.
Yeah, for sure.
I have not really done. Well, actually, no. I take that back. Grand Theft Auto 5 was free.
Oh, okay.
And on PC. So if you got the Epic Games launcher, you can get your Epic Games launcher. It's free to the 21st. That's what I saw. So I grabbed that because I never actually really played Grand Theft Auto 5 before. Did terribly. My hands are not built for PC controls yet, so
Yeah.
I need to work on my WASD stamina, or because my shit was cramping like a bug.
Your mouse
podcast
hand.
was like, oh, we about to stream me playing Grand Theft Auto. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that shit lasts about 25 minutes. And my black ass was back in just chatting, putting some ice.
Take
on
my
hand.
strong hand.
Yeah, it was. Oh, like I still just talking about it right now. I'm
you feel
starting to get a little
phantom.
thing. But yeah. So now that things are starting to oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. Sorry. Now that things are starting to normalize, and I'm getting used to my setup, and I'm not really building like OBS and as much or whatever. I want to read a lot more manga, watch a lot more anime, and play a lot more games. So I will have I'm gonna I want to really catch up with some of the ones that I've needed to, like Bleach and Boruto and stuff like that. My Hero, get those out of the way. And because now that we're doing this video thing, I have an idea for this overlay that we got going. So yeah, I'm gonna come up with some cool, interesting ideas for what I'm reading and watching. Playing not so much. My black ass plays Final Fantasy and Star Wars stuff, and calls it a doozy. But the reading and the watching is gonna evolve just like the show has. So not doing much, but I'm gonna catch up.
Totally got an idea for you, Jay. So you mentioned like you doing the just chatting and shit like that.
Yeah.
Since you do Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can actually do watch parties with whatever is on Amazon Prime now. So you can actually have people like watch whatever you're fucking like doing. So. Oh yeah.
I mean, but I could have them do that anyway. I could fucking just put my little scene on, because the way that my scene is, and the fact that I'm running my fucking mouth all the time, then like it's fair use, wouldn't it be? Like, we ain't even gonna hear the damn show. Somebody gonna come in my chat, say some dumb shit, and then we gonna be debating for 6 hours.
It's gonna go down.
Like, man,
You know what I mean? And like, but I do, because that's what I was doing before. So right before I got the PC or whatever, when I was streaming, I was watching One Piece while playing Final Fantasy or whatever the hell I was playing. And I thought that was cool. And I guess I could kind of do that now, but like nobody would know that I was watching One Piece or some new slice of life show, trying to switch it up.
Did you see that picture that somebody took? It was like a protest, and someone that looked just like that dude from One Piece was like kicking at one of the riot officers' shields, and it was like bending in half. Did anyone see that? And they say, "Look, he's real." Nah, just me. Okay.
I think that was just you, but that would have been.
It was hilarious. It looks just like you can't
You
see the
guys need
dude's
to.
face.
You guys need to cut it out in chat. Okay, you guys are ridiculous right now.
Hey, she said D has made a lasting impression. So
how do I do
what is
that?
happening? Why does every time we try to end the show, it just
It's goofy
devolves
time.
into straight debauchery?
Yeah, goofy time. I'm not able to see that chat. What? How have I made a lasting impression? I'm curious.
what's this funny? Was it? I meant D's impression, and I was
Oh,
make them do whatever you want, Jay. And I said the D impression. She's like, D's made a lasting impression.
I see.
She was saying about the Arnold impression.
Oh, as a Arnold. Oh.
He had good one. You had Bane. That was a good one. You had a Bane one today. You had Arnold today.
I do a lot of goofy shit when no one's watching.
You made me throw in a little Yoda.
That's right. This show's going to the top.
Oh, we will.
The top.
Just wait till we get affiliated.
There we go.
Yeah.
And,
We'll have
and a
subs.
sponsor. I said we need a Manscaped or something.
Right. As long as Sarah Underwood is in my commercial,
Yeah.
I will hawk those terrible beard trimmers or ball trimmers, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
All right. Well, before we descend into too much madness, let me tell you what I've been reading, playing, or watching. Reading. Yes! Oh, I went to the comic book store. I got so many comic books. I'm reading Excalibur. I'm reading, what's that other fucking team? Marauders, X-Force, X-Men. Finally got the last of the Rise of Kylo Ren series, which was cool. So I had a great Saturday night just fucking reading comic books, you know. So that's what I've been reading, a fuckload of comic books. I actually picked up the graphic novel version of Days of Future Past, which is cool, so I'm going to read through that at some point. But what am I reading? Comics, baby. Watching. What am I watching? I watched the last episode of the Clone Wars Season 7 again. I'm actually going to make a YouTube about it because I can't talk about it here. Because there's one line that is just changing my whole perspective on something. So look out for that. But again, even if you've never watched the Clone Wars or are watching Season 7, watch the last 4 episodes of Season 7. They are basically strung together like a movie, and they're fucking awesome. And then as far as playing, playing a little Grand Theft Auto with the son. We talked about that last week. And
Tecmo Super Bowl.
yeah, it's messing around with some. It's actually Tecmo Bowl. It's not even Tecmo Super Bowl. But that's my new measuring stick for what is a storied NFL franchise, and that's if they're on Tecmo Bowl. But yeah, having fun with that. Played most of the way through Zelda 2, and then I'm like, I kind of understand why I didn't play through this ever. So I haven't really gone back to that. So that's what I'm up to. That's what I'm up to, guys. That's what I'm reading, playing, or watching. So thank you very much for watching us today. Or if you catch us after I upload this to the Apple Podcast app and Podbean, thank you very much for listening. Very special thank you to Chandler of the X Reads podcast for coming on talking about a great foundation, the BINC Foundation, which I will put a link so that you can donate to that great foundation on the description of this podcast, as well as you can go on to my Twitter. It'll be there as well. And if you still can't find it, so then just message me or something. I'll get it over to you. Make sure you support the BINC Foundation. All right. Before we head out, Volsker, where can we find you, sir?
So other than being on this weekly podcast with these badass motherfuckers, you
Boys.
these bad boys, you can catch me over on YouTube where just going through a bunch of shit, putting playthroughs, comic videos, unboxings, over on Twitter at Volsker and on Instagram at I am Volsker. Yeah, the main thing here is every week, House of D.
That's right. And J100, how about you, sir?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and I've been able to do it for a little while now, but I was slacking. YouTube at J100. Now, YouTube is J100 TV, but everything else is at J100. The Twitch channel is going to my Twitch channel is going to evolve, guys. So if you want to sit back, relax, and have conversations all day with someone who's very conversational and is trying to just be reasonable, smart, funny, and get laid, then come to the channel J100, twitch.tv/J100. We're gonna be doing Mobile Suit Gunpla builds. That's coming very soon. I gotta hit up. I gotta get money, but then I gotta hit up our contact very soon, so we can get some Gunpla. I'm gonna have some gameplay going on. I'm gonna have some debates. I'm gonna have some just interesting conversations just with people. I can have interesting conversations with anyone whenever. Just hit me up. You wanna tell me I'm stupid and I'm wrong? We can have at it. You wanna talk about games and girls and whatever? I don't care. Just come hang out at
Scarlett
Twitch.tv.
Johansson.
Listen. Okay. So don't mean to make this last forever, but what I am going to do, because I realize sometimes there's a few ticks that I in playing back and making clips that I've realized that I have that I'm working on. And one of them, even with this show, I've been kind of monitoring on Twitch and YouTube. But I'm just not real good at like just always looking at the camera. So what I'm going to do is print a picture of Scarlett Johansson out, and where her eye is where I'm going to put the hole for the eye of the camera. And then
Her
so
eyes.
whenever just her one eye. So it'll you know what I'm saying? And then so whenever I, look at ScarJo, I'm actually looking at y'all. And I'm gonna look at y'all with love and understanding and passion and compassion. And, yeah, sorry, I got carried away. But yeah, J100, hit me up. We about to do some things just like we're doing things here on the House of D. And also you can catch me here too every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Catch us, all of us here every week. We're going to be on multiple platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, trying to get it out there. Guys, of course, also uploaded to Podbean and the Apple Podcast app. Please make sure, if you are not already, please follow the House of D on Twitter at the House of D Pod 1. Again, that's at the House of D Pod 1. Follow us on there. I share news articles, all sorts of good stuff on there for you. You can, of course, personally on my Twitter, connect with me. That's at Dsquare72, which now, if you're on our stream, you can see right there in my camera. But again, for those of you that are just listening at work like I would be, that's at Dsquare72 on Twitter. Of course, I have a YouTube. My YouTube link is on my Twitter profile. You should see a new video coming out soon, because there is just one line in one of these last Clone Wars episodes that really changes things, and so I definitely want to talk about that. Of course, I am reviewing comic books for superheroespeak.com. In fact, I just reviewed it's like a 380-page D&D graphic novel. It was a great read, and so I sent that in, so the editor should be putting that on the website soon. But I've also got a lot of other reviews on there, so check it out at superheroespeak.com. And speaking of Superhero Speak, So I know I told you guys about this, but unfortunately, the guy running Dave over Superhero Speak, he's had some unfortunate events, so we haven't gotten to it yet. But I will be debating 8-Bit Ray from the Gorilla Brain podcast, possibly tomorrow, about Jonathan Hickman. So it should be a very good debate. I have some... Actually, I've got some bombs I want to drop on him that I really want to see how he's going to get around. So we'll see. But just like Volsker said, always here at the House of D, guys. And maybe next time I won't hit my microphone. But until next time, guys, as always, peace and love. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Oh, stop it.